that time of the week when Stephanie Dobson joins us. Stephanie is a lawyer, mediator, and online educator with Hank Divorce Law and Mediation offices in Lloydminster and Edmonton. It's time for another episode of Healthy Thriving Family After Divorce. Stephanie, thank you for joining me once again.
Thanks for having me, Stacey.
Well, this week, Stephanie, we are talking about the negative effects of divorce on kids. And as you know, it's very, very tough for kids of any age when their parents are going through divorce. So we're going to start with these tips to basically protect them and try and make things a little bit easier. So tip number one you have is open communication. So let's talk about that.
Right. It's really important to encourage your kids to express their feelings by fostering an environment where kids feel really comfortable sharing their feelings without that judgment. And you can, of course, do this. We all learn about active listening and using open ended questions, avoiding the yes or no kind of questions can be really helpful. And reading stories together can really prompt some open communication with kids.
All right. And the next one is to maintain stability, consistency, and routine. I think that should be kind of obvious, but let's chat about it anyways.
Yeah, and we do talk about that a lot in when we're creating parenting plans, even for the longer term. But protecting kids, as it relates to protecting kids from the negative effects of divorce, we want to keep the kids' routines as consistent as possible to create that really predictable environment, and it helps kids feel secure when there's that uncertainty of divorce kind of spelling about in their minds and in their daily lives. Really, kids knowing what to expect can alleviate that anxiety and really promote resilience. So the routines provide that comforting framework that anchor children and improve their behavior.
Okay. And the next one, Stephanie, is to shield them from conflict.
Again, it goes without saying, we want to avoid arguing in front of the children. When the children witness conflict, it can really create feelings of anxiety and insecurity and can really create some stress in them. And it leads to behavioral issues like aggression, withdrawal, or even academic difficulties. And it can help to create a feeling of being torn in between two parents. So, by contrast, when we shield them from conflict, it can really encourage that more open and trusting line of communication and healthy adaptation to the separation and divorce.
Okay. And tip number four, Stephanie, is to reassure them.
Right. We're going to remind our kids that both parents love them and, of course, that the divorce is not their fault. So these are all easy and obvious things to do. It's really important, of course, to be age appropriate with the divorce when you're talking with them about it without overwhelming them with details. That honesty really helps to build trust and help them to feel secure. Again, going back to those books, that can be a really easy way to explain the divorce to them.
Okay. And the next one, this is very important, is quality time.
Right. And every child is going to have their particular love language. And especially if your child's love language is quality time, I encourage parents to spend individual time with the children, with each child, and with all of the children together, really ensuring that they feel valued and understood and making sure that they know that you have that time for them. Those positive experiences can really boost their mood and reinforce your bond with them.
Okay. And the next one is professional support. We have talked about this a little bit in the past, but let's just expand a little bit.
Yeah. So this is really where kids are significantly struggling. You can consider family counseling or a therapy to help them. A professional can really help children process their feelings and cope with changes.
Okay. And the next one is healthy co parenting.
Yeah, it's really important to work together with your former spouse to create that positive co parenting relationship. You're really modeling that relationship for the kids, showing them what respect looks like, what good open communication looks like. And that creates an emotionally stable environment for the kids, again, reducing that feeling of anxiety, insecurity, stress on the children.
Okay. And tip number eight, Stephanie, is to encourage relationships.
Fostering relationships, of course, with extended family and friends. I think we talked about that a little bit last week in our episode as well. It can really provide some emotional support to the kids, reinforcing that sense of belonging, familiar environment, and during this time of upheaval for the kids.
Okay. And the next one is to limit changes. Why is that such an important thing?
Well, again, it goes back to routine consistency and stability for the kids, really trying to minimize some significant changes for the kids. We talked a little bit in a previous episode about nesting, the idea of parents leaving the home and kids staying. If that's even possible, that can really help the kids to thrive. They do thrive on routine and familiarity, and it reduces their anxiety and stress.
Okay, and the last one, Stephanie, tip number 10 is to focus on the future.
Well, and this can help all of us really as parents and as children is to focus on the future, helping your children set and focus on positive goals for the future, which fosters a sense of hope and resilience and really helps them to know kind of what their future might look like. If you have an idea as a parent what that might look like, are we moving homes? Am I going to go to a new school? What's that going to look like? And really, parents can highlight some of the positive aspects. So moving to a new home might be an exciting thing, or going to a new school might be an exciting thing. So trying to focus on that future can really be helpful.
All right, Stephanie. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and we'll chat with you again next week.
Thanks, Stacey.